Yeah, we're on 4:19 in the morning. Sleep. I don't care. I know. I gotta do this when my timing is right. And the timing is right now. So we just had a big snowstorm here in Connecticut. See, this is the thing I'm going to talk about today. We get these emails, from the apartment people, the people who run the place, management. Oh, it's going to be a big storm. You got to move your car. Can't park it there. You got to park it here. I just left my car in the damn space, my space, and we got like 2 inches of snow. They're like, oh, the big plow is going to come. Don't play loud music. So I don't know who ratted somebody out for playing their music. I'm very considerate. Sometimes I play. Sometimes I play music like when I'm on the treadmill. I try to keep it down, when it's 2 in the morning. Or I use my headphones, but I can't stand anything in my ear. So I said, I hope he didn't rat me out. Where I used to do my videos, I don't know if you watched me previously, but um, the local officials were yelling at me because I was doing my videos in my backyard at the school, at nighttime. I got caught a couple of times over there, but nothing ever happened. I just said, no, I'm just outside. Oh, didn't you read the sign? You're not supposed. But there was no sign that says you can't do YouTube videos here at 2 in the morning. I didn't see any sign like that. Anyway, I didn't really get in trouble, but you know, I just explained nicely what I was up to and managed to hide behind trees anytime that I saw, a car circling the parking lot. I was very good. So I didn't get caught. But, you know, obviously I'm such a I'm such a dangerous looking person. It's obvious that I'm up to no good. Okay. So anyway, yeah, January 20th, 2025. Apparently the sun is conjunct Pluto today, like right in Aquarius. And, if you want the in-depth astrological details, there's a million people out there doing that. That's not what I'm about. I give you the general weather, you and your stars. And as it applies to what I'm discussing, I give you the general energy. And contrary to what some people have accused me of, I'm not a person who checks the transits obsessively. I don't. I care more about my individual chart than the weather, because I, I'm not that concerned with it. I mean, generally, yeah, I want to see what's going on, but if I'm not into it, I'm not into it. If I'm into it, there's a reason why. Like, what the energy's going on? Why am I, feeling? That's when you want to be able to check and know, why you're being affected a certain way. But my intuition, my emotions, my feelings are always my first go-to. I don't. If you're just relying on the astrology, you're just using your head. That's not the kind of astrology. That's the kind of astrology my mom used to practice. And I thought, I'm never going to be able to, you know, she used to use the ephemeris, the charts with even before in the 70s, before they used computers even. She started using the computer in like the 80s. When she first started, she had all these charts, and just gave me a headache looking at all those tiny little numbers and symbols and signs and things. Literally signs, astrological signs. Um, Signs is the word of the day, boys and girls. Signs. Oh, yeah. So, it's second Sunday, ordinary time. So we got stuff going on. We got snow, which is not really much snow here in Connecticut. And then we get it's Martin Luther King Day. And here in the US, of course, we have the inauguration today. I won't be watching it. I don't watch news as a rule. And yeah, I will be otherwise occupied. But, I'll probably watch the videos after the fact. Um, and there's the whole TikTok thing. And I was never on TikTok. So, I can appreciate how some people started there, they're into it. You know, I'd say just wait a minute before you jump to conclusions about what's going to happen. I'd say, you know, um, don't get invested in any one position, any one way of looking at things because it's going to change. That's all I'm going to say about that. Living in America, living in the world. Just wait a minute. If you don't like something, it's going to change. And the way I am approaching these times is I don't have any expectations of anything, and I don't have an opinion on anything. If I have an opinion, um, I wait a minute and it might change. As long as you don't invest yourself in anything, you'll be happy. I think a lot of our disappointment in life comes from banking on things, putting all your eggs in one basket, tying yourself up in one way of looking at things. That's not going to cut it. That's a surefire, way to get, um, to have dis-ease, so to speak. If you can be happy no matter what, and you don't derive um, your happiness from what somebody says or what somebody doesn't say or what's going on out there, and you think somebody is going to be the hero and solve all your problems, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because I am not putting anyone on a pedestal. I am not invested in what somebody's going to do for me, somebody to rescue me, somebody to tell me what I want to hear. See, we have to go higher than that. We have to start with the heart and we have to become our own superheroes. See, thus Zazoo Plazz here. That's all I'm going to say about that. Stop it. Get to the jokes. Okay. Oh, show and tell today. I did get a few things. I took my tree down finally. I put up the Valentine stuff. And so, in honor of today's theme, I brought a little sign. See that? A little gnome. It says, welcome. Look at him. He's driving. Welcome. Say, hello. Welcome. There it goes. Okay. Gnome, sweet gnome. I guess that I'm really into gnomes. Oh, and this guy. I got these at the dollar store. Here's my little friend here. See, isn't he sparkly? I have him over on my dining table. Isn't he cute? Here, Zazoo. Okay. He's cute. He's waving. All right. I have this not on the outside of my front door, but on the inside. Now I want to because it's going to be the year of the wood snake. And I am a wood snake. I was born in 65. And that was, you know, 60 years ago. Well, it's almost 60 years. But they say if you put the animal of the year, the Chinese zodiac animal, like get a little sign or something. I'm going to put it in my foyer to have extra blessings, right? for the year. So I've always liked snakes. So I got my snake shirt on today. It's got suns and snakes, and it's very Pluto kind of thing. Well, Pluto ruled, I'm Pluto ruled anyway. Mars, Pluto, Scorpio. So there's that. But yeah, I figured I'd wear my little snakes today. Get ready. Get my purple socks on. Gonna show the socks. All right. So here are my thoughts. Oh, we're a little bit early today, but yeah. So it's the second Sunday ordinary. We're back to Isaiah. Isaiah, right? So let's see. I talked about all the big things going on. Um, yeah. So Isaiah the prophet from the Old Testament, right? For Zion's sake in Jerusalem, I will not be quiet. He talking about vindication, victory, the torch. A lot of royal images, royal, your builder, he's talking about God as the builder, marrying you, um, you know, like the groom, marrying the young girl, sort of um, these images of being new, being pure, right? So, um, yeah, in other words, if you, it's a new beginning, but you have to be ready for it. In other words, there's a coming to meet kind of energy, you know. Um, yeah, and I will not be quiet. So this there's this feel, I don't know, this sort of a premonition of things coming out in the open, you know. In the year of the snake, from what I've been reading, you kind of, have to question things, Um, don't, this is not a time to be quiet. This is not a time to just retreat, and slither away. This is a time to say, why is this happening? Who's benefiting from this? And, well, where's the money? Where's the beef? So you have to be asking questions, right? Um, yeah, because it's a time of revelation. That sounds like a biblical book, and it is. Um, so then we have the psalm, right? Um, Sing the new song unto the Lord, kind of thing. Worship the Lord, and there's also these images of like weddings, and the inauguration is tomorrow. Which is a big event, right? You talk about inaugural. Inaugural. It's years ago. My running friend buddy, and I, Michelle. Um, I called her Millie in the book, but we ran a lot of races together. And one race we ran, it said it was like Collinsville, Connecticut, and it was the first year they had done it, right? So we got these beautiful. We ran like this. I didn't know what it was, a 10K or something. We got these beautiful medals, and on it it said the inaugural. It was supposed to say the inaugural running because it was the first year, but they spelled inaugural wrong. So it was inaugural. So she and I looked at the medal. We're like, oh my God, they spelled inaugural wrong. So that was our inside joke. After that, we ran the inaugural race. So, I mean, if you're going to do it right, you know? So it's kind of like that. It's like, you get signs, right? That things are not as they're not as they seem. Somebody's not doing something right, because there's these mistakes. If you pay attention, you notice these things. You know, somebody's got like a social media account that I can't understand. You know, they put out this crap where all these words are misspelled and this and that, and they have hundreds of thousands of followers. I put out, I double, triple check I do, I put a lot of effort and love into my posts. And I have 242 followers and 17 on here. So you go figure. What do, and I want to grow my YouTube channel. So if you're watching this, hit the subscribe button. What the heck? Hit the like button. Go to Facebook. Look up Zazoo Plazz. And, throw me a like and a follow. What the hell? I've been taking the high road for a long time. What the hell? Follow me. I don't care. Do it. Tell other people to do it. I put out quality stuff, and it's time for me to get paid for it. Get back. Tired of laboring in the dark here without, any appreciation. Anyway, I'll be quiet. Be quiet, Zazoo. Tell us the good stuff, okay? That's my shameless promotion, self-promotion. Maybe I'll get somebody to promote me. Anyway, so yeah. So there's this worship the Lord in a holy attire stuff, glory and praise. So it's like we're getting dressed up to go, somewhere, right? Because there's, you gotta show up a certain way, right? Or else you go to a fancy restaurant, they won't let you in if you don't have a suit, tie, or a nice dress, or if you look like a bum. It's not so much now. When I was a little kid, a lot of these songs that I'm talking about, these hippie songs, the long-haired people, those were the boomers when I was a little kid. They were the long-haired people. Right now, everybody's got long hair, whatever, short hair, whatever. But back then, it was kind of like those were the people who were the rebels, the you know, causing trouble, kind of stirring things up. That's it. Okay, so now we have Pluto in Aquarius, and the sun's in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and that's the original rebel, right? That's the electrical, the lightning strike. You know, Uranus rules inventors, electricity, inventions, Tesla. They call it Tesla, right? And Elon Musk owns Tesla. I'm just going to throw that out there because that is his company. And there's the band called Tesla, which we're going to be discussing today. Just a little heads up. You see where this is going? Because that's how I do. So, yeah, so where did I start? Oh, yeah, Uranus. So, yeah, I mean, you get the idea. Electrical things, right? Technology, social media, computers, internet, all that shit. Okay. Yeah, tiki-takis, Facebookies, YouTubies. All right. Then there's this royal image, but worship the Lord in holy attire. So it's there's a new song. Okay, there's glory, praise, and equity. So there's proclaim His marvelous deeds to all nations, not just the ones owned by the U.S. Okay, all the nations, right? And this is Aquarius. It's the people. It's everybody, right? Not just you, not just this one, but everybody. Okay. I just want to get that out there. And then we have first letter to the Corinthians, Saint Paul. There's one spirit, different gifts. So that's very Aquarian. Okay. So you're not special, but you are special. Everyone has a particular dharma, particular purpose, but you have to be paying attention, reading the signs. Okay, going within, getting off your phone for a while. Unplug, go into a relaxed state. They call it the alpha state. Whatever you have to do. I don't. I have incense, right? I have sticks of incense, and I burn those when I want to sort of really kind of I listen to some nice music, some, new agey kind of music. Instrumental, no words, right? And, get into a relaxed state or get into, go lie down somewhere or don't do it when you're driving, please. Um, but you know what I mean. Meditating, and even just being still and listening, right? Asking questions. Sometimes people use tarot cards. I use tarot cards. I have all kinds of oracle cards and things, which helps. If you want to ask a question, sometimes I just write, and see what comes up. So there's that. There's journaling. There's a whole lot of ways that you can, channel advice, channel, you know. And sometimes it doesn't come through, but the more open you are to it, the more you're going to get out of it. And at first I wasn't, I was skeptical. Of course I am. I was very skeptical. But the more I started seeing my life change, the more I realized that this really was working. And so, more on that some other time. Oh, God, it's getting late already. So yeah, so everybody's got a different gift, whether it's healing, you know, doing YouTube videos, talking about your wisdom that you've obtained in life or whatever. Some people in speaking tongues, languages, whatever. You get the idea. Everybody has a different role to play in the world, but all of it comes from spirit, right? From source. So we have that in common. And the more we look for the things we have in common versus the things that separate us, the better off we're all going to be. All right. So, second book of John, the wedding in Cana. Love this. They ran out of wine. Oh no. It's like the inauguration and the big reception after. Can you imagine? They ran out of wine. Heavens would roll. So Jesus says to us, Jesus, he hadn't started his ministry yet. He's with this, you go to a family wedding, right? And, when you're younger and you're sitting with your parents, right? And hey, he's probably like young adults. But they ran out of wine. It's none of my business. Wait, it's none of my concern. Why are you asking me? He's like, giving him the eyeball. You know what you have to do. So his mother was really, now I have to say this as a mother, that we are influential in, getting our kids to get up and get going, right? Because we see things in them, right? So, she says to the waiters, do whatever he tells you, right? So now Jesus he's making wine. All of a sudden he's working with the bartender here. He says, so he told the service to fill the jars with the water, and then he brings it to the bartender, the taster, the wine taster. And he says, usually they'd save they give the choice wine at first, and when everybody's drunk, then they give the inferior wine. But he said, you save the good wine for last, right? It doesn't. So Jesus was the ultimate, you know, long-haired, guy, right? He was an unlikely um, person to, you know, be healing the world and doing all these things, right? But as he started performing these miracles, people started to believe in him, right? To know that, he walked his talk. He's not just just spouting off. He does actual deeds to show it. So he grounds. This is his deeds are his his service to the world, right? He's not just talking. He's doing things. He's creating something, right? So that's what we're called to do. Whether it's making videos or producing a book or doing art or something, unless we ground it and produce something, people won't see the tangible, uh, benefits to what we can provide, right? It has to, geez, he's making wine, wow, we're going to follow this guy. But he didn't start with some big lofty, he didn't start with the transfiguration. He started with wine. It's very Neptunian. He was a Pisces anyway. Rules alcohol, things like that, I think. Um, anyway, so I said, signs, okay. He revealed this as the beginning of his signs to show his glory. So his disciples began to believe in him. All right. And then I said, okay, signs. There was a song, okay, that came out. It's hippie song. I was like 6 years old, 5 years old. Five. Uh, yeah. So, okay, it was covered by the band Tesla. So it's a Gen X song. It's okay. The band Tesla covered it in 1990 um, on their 5-man acoustic jam album. Um, and they added, they took the song that originally came out, it was written by Les Emerson, uh, whose band was, changed the name of the band. They used to be City Kids. Was it the City Kids? Something like that. They were, the Staccatos? Oh, no, Tesla was the City Kids. Okay, now we're talking about the original 5-man electrical band released the song in 1970 on their, it was from their Goodbyes and Butterflies album. With funny plants on the cover that was re-released. Anyway, that song, okay, it was, so it was originally on the B side of, you know, the single, but they put it on the A. They went with a different recording company, put it on the A side, and that's how it went big. 1971, it went up to number 3 on the Billboard, and it got them swept up with all those like hippie bands, that like caught on to the the whole vibe of the times. Uh, yeah, so Goodbyes and Butterflies. That's interesting. Sold over 1 million copies. Uh, so I guess the Les Emerson, who wrote the song, died from COVID a few years ago, 3 years ago maybe. Um, so they had the original version, and then Tesla, the band, sort of a hair metal band, they re-released it. They okay. They had a clean version for the radio, and then they had a version on their album which had some F words in it. Like they changed the original verses to be a little more, like bad words. Not bad words, but they threw in a few F bombs. So they didn't put that version on the radio. Released in November of '90, my 25th birthday. Isn't that interesting? Um, so anyway, so the band Tesla, okay, they were from Sacramento. So there's a California. So we're dealing with the aftermath of the fires in LA. So we've got a California flavor here. The band Tesla was from Sacramento. Um, they started out as City Kid, 2 Ds, and they changed their name to Tesla after Nikola Tesla, uh, electrical engineer and inventor, which is appropriate because Aquarius is ruled by, like I said, Uranus, electrical. You see this? See where I'm going with this? The 5-man electrical band. There's this electricity, right? Okay. Oh, geez, I'm running out of time. I might have to run a little bit over because I have a few more things to say. So I'm going to have to start again. That's fine. Okay, so here we go. It's going to shut me off. I'm going to come right back on. So here we go. Okay, we're back. I'm going to link these two together. It's going to be a little bit longer today. Yeah, so I think I pretty much said everything. The thing I wanted to say was Les Emerson had written this song as he was on his way to driving to LA from Canada. They're from Canada, the original band. And he said that there were these billboards that were obscuring his view of the scenery. Right? And that's one of those things that really bothers me. I was driving down here near my house, near my apartment, and there's this, there are these apartment buildings, but there's this beautiful field right in front of them, all this open land that I used to like to see, driving by. It's a very built up area around here. Beautiful, parks and things down there, and a stream and everything. But going this way, it's all, it's all sprawl, you know, fast food places, car places. So there's this big sign. It says, "Oh, coming soon," and it's this new strip mall. And the sign itself is obscuring my view of the trees and, the nice natural scenery. But the mall itself is going to obscure the trees in the distance. Just the people who live in the apartments right there are going to have to look at the butt end of this. They bought they're renting their apartments because it's in the nice woods. Now they can look at this eyesore. So that kind of hit me. I said, yeah, where does it stop? So there's the lyrics. Okay, the lyrics in this, and a lot of people will know this, even if they're not familiar with the song. Like I wasn't familiar with the song because I was a baby. I was a little kid when it came out. But it said, long-haired, freaky people need not apply, right? So, so the guy goes to get a job, and there's this sign, no long-haired, freaky people. So he tucks his hair under the hat. He goes in, tell the guy, I wouldn't work for you. He says, you look like a clean-cut young man, and then he lets his hair down. And you're like, I wouldn't work for you. What do you do? So, there's this attitude about the country club, the membership required. There's a sign, you can't come in here. You go to church, there's a sign. It's a, oh, welcome to our church and pray. And then they pass the basket, right? So the guy didn't have any money. So he wrote a little thank you note to God for being, thank you for making me and letting me be here. So, yeah. And then it talks about fences and walls keeping people out, right? And keeping Mother Nature in. It's not natural. I'm just going to put that out there. It's in the song. That's what I'm talking about, the song. Okay? Yeah, interesting. I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to say. It was interesting that five-man electrical band, they used to be called the Staccatos. And there was a drummer in it called Rick Bell, whose name was Bellinger, which is my mother's maiden name. And they debuted in 1965, the year I was born. So what about that? Okay, I went over 3 minutes. I think I've said everything I want to say, and now it's snack time. So, yeah, I'm going the other way now. We're going back. There's a long-haired guy right there. It's a little freaky. Okay, so yeah. Till next week, I'm gonna take off. Go. I gotta make myself some. I have some ground pork left over from my meat pies. I'm gonna make a ground pork stir fry, with like mushrooms and other stuff. So we'll see about that. So yeah. Till next week, same place, different time. Have a great week, everybody. See you later. Bye bye.